All right, so in today's tutorial, I'll be talking about enhancing the data model. Remember that we're still using the sample superstore file, and then we've been able to make some transformation from the Power Query editor, and we've loaded that transformation into a Power BI desktop. All right, so let us see how to enhance the data model by merging information from the orders table and also we match information from the orders table to the managers table because the two tables have something in common. They have a particular field, and that field is the region field. We're going to see that real quick here. So without further ado, we're going to get back to the Power Query editor and then see how to perform this merging. You want to merge these two columns together, these two tables together, because they have one distinct column that unite both of them. Okay. All right. So we're going to move that straight over and let's see what we can do. Moving to our orders table here, we want to perform a kind of transformation that is not destructive. That is say, we want to keep this orders table here. All the tables we have here, we're going to keep the original copies. We don't just want to merge them directly. That's why I'll be going to where we have the combine panel here, merge queries, and I select merge queries as new so that I can still retain the original tables in case there is an error, in case there's a mistake, in case I want to still go back to the original. Okay, now the first table we have here is orders table, and that's selected for us. So we're going to be checking the region. The region is the field that links the orders table to the managers table. All right, so we're going to select the second table here. Click on the drop down, then we select the managers table. The managers table is the second table. The orders table is the first table. All right, so in the managers table, we also have region here. So I'm going to select it as well. All right, now there's something we need to really look into, and that's the join. Now, there are different kind of joins. The joins are what we use to um literally join two different tables together, right? Now there are different kind of joins, and that's what we're going to be looking at now. Okay, so let's briefly talk about the kinds of join we have in Power BI. Okay, so we have about six. We have six kind of join in Power BI. The first one we have, which is the default join, is called the left outer join. So as a default join type, it returns all the records from the first table and only the matching records from the second table. Okay, so in our case here, our orders table, um, which we listed is the first table. Okay, so what will happen here is that it will return all the records from the first table and only the matching records from the second table. Okay, that's for the left outer join. And then we have the right outer join. The right outer join actually returns all the records from the second table and the matching records from the first. Returns all the records from the second table and the matching records from the first. Okay, and then we have the full outer join. This one returns all the rows from both tables. Okay, then we have the inner join. Inner join returns only the matching rows. Then we have the left anti. The left anti returns only rows in the first table. Then we have the right anti that returns only rows in the second table. All right, so in our own situation here, what we're going to be using is the right outer join. Remember that the right outer join returns all the records from the second table and the matching records from the first table. All right, so let's get back to our Power Query editor like real quick and get that selected for us. Now, at the moment now, by default, it is on the left outer join, and we're having selection matches 2,428 out of 2,428 rows from the first table. We don't want that. We want to select the right outer join like this, and then we'll see that we're having the selection matches 3 or 4 rows for the second table. Once that's done, we now say, okay. All right, so the merging has taken place. Now we have merge one here. So like I said, we are not performing a destructive kind of transformation. Okay, we still have the original and then we have the bench one. Okay, so scrolling through, we're going to go down and see what's going to happen. We see that a new field or a new column have been created, and that is called the managers. Okay. Now we can expand it so that we can see everything. We now see we have the regional manager first, manager last, and all that. So we okay it. Okay. So now looking at this, we now have 3 additional columns added to our our data. So we have the managers first, managers first, and then managers last. It shows that these actually are merged tables. So I'm going to edit this managers first, and then I'm going to edit it to be just manager first. Commit that, and then this one will be manager last. All right, so that's quite fine. That's quite nice. And then now looking at it, we can now observe that we have for the first record we are having where we have this the managers region central, we're having a null record there. We're having a null record. It means that there is no information for the central. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we are going to move to where we have the managers region, bring down the drop down, and then we are going to deselect. Okay, let's load more that we can see all of them. Then we're going to deselect central. Okay, and then we okay it. All right. So we don't, the null value is now gone. Now we're going to now sort it in ascending order like this. So we have the is coming up first. Okay, so we've done that. And then we're going to be calling this query merge one. You're going to be calling it return orders. Okay. Okay. Order by region. I mean to say we're going to rename this order by region. Order, order, order by region. Now to say this table is talking about the orders that we get based on region. All right, so we're going to perform. This one should be your own assignment, but I'm going to do it for you real quick. We're going to see how to do the same thing. And then for orders and return. Orders and return also have a matching column. And then when we're done, we're going to call that orders, return, orders. Okay. I would have allowed for you to do it yourself, but let me just do it at once so we can be on the same page. All right, so I'm going to select my orders again. And then I'm going to go to where we have my merge queries, bring the drop down, and I call this merge queries as new. Okay. Now this time around, selecting my first table is the orders table. And now there is something that links both of them together, and that's the orders ID, the order ID. I'm going to select the order ID. Now my second table now is the returns table. I select my returns table like so, and then we find that there's order ID here as well, and I select that too. Okay, and then we can see selection has been made for 50 out of that. Left outer join and all. It doesn't really matter anyone you choose. Okay, doesn't really matter anyone you choose. Okay, 31 out of 1634 rows. Okay, but I'm going to be choosing okay, let's choose the left outer join. Right outer join instead. And then okay. All right, so let's scroll through and then see what we have at the other side. Scroll down, scroll down. So we have a new column that been added, and that's called the returns column. Table. We expand it as usual. And then we okay. Okay, so we have returns order ID, then return status. Okay, returns order ID, then return status. All right, so phew, with this now we're having null values everywhere here. We don't want to see all these null values. What are we going to do? Simply come down here and say select all. We don't want null value. Deselect that and then okay. All the null values will be off, and then we have our records here clean for us. Okay, and then we're going to come down to where we have a merge one, and then we're going to rename it. We're going to rename that return orders. return orders. That will say the orders that were actually rejected, the orders that were returned, that did not fly, that did not scale through. Then we okay. Okay. And now we've made our merging transformation. We're now going to commit it to the Power BI desktop like this. Close and apply as usual. And everything's going to be loaded back to the Power BI desktop. All right. So that is the size of the class. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.